This is a review for the unit. Hopefully it'll be pretty easy for you. If you want, you can go ahead, attempt the problems, pause the video, and then fast forward to the answer, see if you got it right, and if you need an explanation, rewind it, and so on. It's up to you. So first one, simple interest. All right, we know the formula is interest equals PRT, where I is the interest earned, P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. So what is the interest on a $20,000 invested for 5 years at 3.5%? So we know the interest earned would be the principal, 20,000, times the rate, which was 3.5%, but as a decimal would be 0.035, times the number of years, 5. When we multiply those all together, you get you get $3,500. So you would make $3,500 just by keeping your money in the bank for the 5 years. Okay. So now the question is, how much is in the bank after 5 years? Well, what are we going to do? Well, you have your initial 20,000. Now we add the interest we earned, and that means you would have $23,500 in the bank after 5 years. How much is he earned in 36 months? Remember, this formula is good for the number of years. So what is 36 months equivalent to in years? That would be 3 years. So 20,000 times 3.5%, which is 0.035, times 3. Okay, so 20,000 times 0.035 times 3 would give you $2,100. Okay, so that's what we call simple interest. So Jack is driving at a rate of 55 miles an hour. How far could he drive in 4 hours? Well, if you remember, distance is equal to rate times time, okay? Now, if he's 55 miles an hour, the distance he travels is the rate, which is 55, times the time, which is 4 hours, and that would give you 220 miles. 6.5 hours, no difference, right? The distance traveled would be that 55 times 6.5, right? Which in this case would give you 357.5 miles. Now, 45 minutes, all right? Remember, you have to, in this formula, time is in terms of hours. So we have to convert minutes to hours. Well, how many minutes are in an hour? There's 60. So if we take it, the number of hours is equal to the number of minutes, which is 45, divided by 60, which gives you 0.75. So if you think about it, 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour. So the distance traveled would be 55 times 0.75, which in this case would give you 41.25 miles. Okay. So Gabby travels to her friend's house at 45 miles an hour, and it would take 50 minutes. When calculating how far her friend lives, she concluded that 2,250 miles away. Is this answer reasonable? Well, if you think about it, now does this answer make sense, right? Well, if you think about it, if you're driving 45 miles an hour for 50 minutes, can you go 2,250 miles? No. What do you think the mistake is here, right? Well, the mistake is you go 45 miles an hour, but 50 minutes, right? 50 minutes is not 50 hours. If it was 50 hours, that's how many miles they would drive. So what you have to do here to correct it is it'd be 45 miles an hour times 50 divided by 60, right? And if you do that, it is 37.5 miles away. Okay. Now, the next one. The table shows the results of a survey done during the week of homecoming. Okay. The survey asked students what their favorite class was. Okay. So what they did here is they took these and they go ahead and they said these are their favorite class. If there are 3,579 students at Sandburg, write a proportion you could use to determine the number of students that chose math as their favorite subject. So if I look, this is obviously not equivalent to 3,579 students. This is basically just a handful of students pulled out and picked. So now they're going to use that. So the proportion we're going to say is 140 out of how many? If I add these up, 140 plus 82 plus 78, that adds up to 300. So 140 out of 300 is going to equal, I don't know how many out of 3,579. So that's the proportion I would use. Now, what do I do to find the number of students that chose math? I cross multiply. So 300 times x is equal to 140 times 3579 is 501,060. And now when I divide by 300, you get 1,670.2 kids like math. Okay. Next, convert the following: 6,500 millimeters to meters. Well, we know we're going to set up our proportions here. 6,500 millimeters times, right? Remember our conversion, 1 centimeter is equal to 100, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we need the millimeters to cancel out. So those cancel out. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters times, now we need the meters to come into place. So we have 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. And if I look, centimeters cancel out. And now I multiply across the top to get 6,500 divided by 10 times 100 is 1,000. And 6,500 divided by 1,000, right, is going to give you 6.5. Done. Okay. 30 yards now. Okay, if I have 30 yards, I'm going to convert yards to inches. So if I think about it, I need yards to cancel out. So I know 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. Yards cancel. Okay, now I need feet to cancel. So I need that to end up on bottom. So 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot. Feet cancel out. Now I multiply across the top. 30 times 3 times 12 gives you 1080. And 1080 divided by 1 will give you 1,080 inches. Okay. Next, takes 4 cups of flour to make 10 large pizza. So 4 cups of flour to 10 pizzas. How many cups of flour equals how many cups of flour? I don't know. To make 84 pizzas. Notice cups of flour is in the numerator, pizzas in the denominator. Cross multiply. 10F equals 84 times 4. 84 times 4 gives you 336. When you divide, number of cups of flour has to equal 336 divided by 10 is 33.6 cups of flour. All right. Next. 2014 Ford Mustang costs $62,800. Tax is 7.75%. What is the total cost? So if we calculate the tax, 7.75% is a decimal, would be 0.0775 times the price of the car, $62,800. That gives you tax of $4,867. So now the total cost of the car would be the $62,800 plus the $4,867 for a total of $67,667. All right. So next one, you want to join the Olympia Fields Country Club. Their membership is $1,500 a month. They are hosting a promotion, giving people who sign up for 5 years a 25% discount on the monthly membership. How much would the promotional membership be per month? So to figure out the discount, right, we're going to take the 25%, which is 0.25, multiply it by the cost per month, which is $1,500. That gives you $375. So now the total cost per month would be the $1,500 minus the $375 discount, which is $1,125 per month. Okay. Now, the next one, Jack purchased a house in 2006 for $125,000. He just had it appraised for $120,000. What is the percent change? Remember, the new price is $120,000. The old or the original is $125,000. Now, this is one area where you struggled with. So remember, you're going to take the new $120,000 minus the old, the $125,000, and then you're going to divide it by the original of $125,000. When you do that, you get negative $5,000, and all that tells you is there was a percent decrease. And you're going to divide that by the $125,000. So when you subtract up top and you get this negative $5,000, you're just going to take that and divide it by the original amount. When you divide that, you get 0.04, technically negative 0.04. But when we summarize our answer, we say it's a 0.04 as a percent is 4%. So we say it's a 4% decrease. Okay. Next one. Alice checks out at the local store. Her bill is $38.75. The tax percent is 5%. What is the total cost of her groceries? So the sales tax is 5%, 0.05 times $38.75. That gives you $1.94 in tax. So if we take the $38.75 and we add the tax, the total bill is $40.69. Now, if you pay with a 50, how much change do you receive? Well, the change is going to be 50 minus 40.69, which gives you $9.31. Okay? And last, a baseball player gets on base 30% of his at-bats. If he reached base 240 times, how many at-bats did he have? So 30% of his at-bats is what he got on. So 30% as a decimal is 0.30. Do you know how many at-bats he had? No. So 30% of those, which means we're going to multiply by the number of at-bats. When you calculate it, it should equal 240 times. So when you solve for the at-bats, divide by 0.3, and the number of at-bats would be 800 at-bats. All right, go ahead, do the review, and send it to me, and then I'll send you the test if it's good. All right, good luck.